Welcome back to Pima Voices. My name is Savannah and I'll be your host. Today I have Alissa McKaig, who is the Director of Military and Veteran Services at Pima Community College. Hi, Alissa. How are you today?
Hi, Savannah. Thanks for having me here today.
Thank you for stopping by. So tell us a little bit about yourself and how you came about to be in your position here at the college.
Sure. I was retired from the military, so I served almost 22 years in the Army, and I retired from Fort Huachuca down in Sierra Vista. And I'll tell you something, I wasn't going to go back to work. My kids were little. I was going to go to school or watch them go to school, and I sort of missed that. I started missing that sense of family, that sense of community that we get in the military. And so I said, okay, I'm going to get back out there in the workforce. And I see this job opening for Director of Military and Veteran Services. It really spoke to me. It was I felt like a perfect fit for me based on my time in the service. I loved working with soldiers, military families. And I did some time, I was the professor of military science at the University of New Mexico. So when I was there, I worked with students and I worked in that college environment. So that's where I felt that this position at Pima would be the perfect fit for me. And here I am. It's been almost a year now.
I was about to say, I think it's still a little fresh. So welcome to the Pima Community College family.
Thank you. I'm still learning every day.
That's okay. We all are. So what does your role as director actually entail here at the college?
So I'm the director of the Military and Veteran Services team. We have an incredible team. I'm so blessed to be part of our team. We service all military and military connected students. So that's not just folks that have left the service. That is active duty military, veterans, their spouses, their dependents, anybody that's coming through Pima. Our department is separated into kind of three sections. We have an advisor section with the school certifying officials, or SCOs, is one section. They work out we have a veterans center at every campus, and we can talk a little bit about that later. But the advisors, they don't take the place of the academic advisors. They are solely responsible for using your veterans benefits. So anybody that wants to use our veterans benefits, they meet with our advisors. We help them get on a plan and make sure that the paperwork, it's sometimes confusing working with the VA, making sure they're getting everything that they're entitled to, and we help process that. And so the school certifying officials are the sort of second step. They double check all the advisors to make sure that we get it right the first time and students are able to attend using their veterans benefits. That's the first section. The second area is our Davis-Monthan Education Center team. We have a team that's actually on Davis-Monthan Air Force Base. They basically do the same thing, but it's for active duty service members that are using tuition assistance to attend schools, and also military spouses and dependents. They actually offer classes out there. There are some basically general education classes offered, and we also run a testing center so folks, active duty folks, can go through, get any CLEP or testing needs taken care of there. The third area of our team is our Veterans Upward Bound team. They are a TRIO program that's a grant funded by the Department of Education. And their mission is not just Pima, it's really the whole community of Tucson. And that's getting first-time veteran students who have never attended college to attend college. So they help with the admissions process, any sort of testing, tutoring services if folks need to sort of get back into that college life and taking any placement tests and stuff like that. So they basically help those individuals come into school. So those are our three facets. We have a phenomenal team.
I didn't even know that it was broken up like that. So that's very nice to hear. Then you also mentioned too, you had the veteran centers on each campus. So are all those centers about the same? Do they offer different assistant needs? What does that entail? What is the veteran centers on each campus?
Sure. The veteran centers on every campus are, they're similar. We provide the same services. There is a veteran advisor that I mentioned. They're overall in charge of those veteran centers. We offer free snacks, coffee, water, drinks, printing services. There's computer services. They're all different. They each have, but they offer the same types of services. We have Some have gaming consoles, relaxation areas where you can just chill out. Some have massage chairs so you can support your wellness and get a massage. We have quiet rooms. So if somebody, is having a rough day and they kind of just need to come and get some quiet, they can go into the quiet room and shut the door. And so we provide those services. They're actually manned by our VA work studies. So it's another job opportunity for our students. They are basically paid by the VA, but they're employed here at Pima managing those centers. So they're the ones that are going to greet you if you come in, help you get whatever you need, and help maybe connect you to an advisor if you're ready to pursue and need to go further in the process of using those veterans benefits. But they're open to any military connected students, staff, and faculty, not just those using their benefits. But I think mostly the most important part of our piece there is that community and that team that we establish. In the military, it's one of the things that everyone, I think most people remember from their time in service is just that feeling of community, that feeling of being part of that family. And so a lot of people miss that when they get out of the service. And that's kind of what we want the Veterans Centers to be, is an area where folks feel welcome. They can find other veterans, other folks who are maybe in the same program of study as them, maybe just connecting with other veterans that have the same, maybe similar experiences to them. We're also, I forgot to mention, a hub of resources for the community. So if veterans are struggling in different areas, everything from mental health, housing, job placement, there's different organizations. We have all the information there at the Veterans Center. They can come and get connected. We partner with like the University of Arizona, NAU. The reps come by if somebody wants to transfer and they visit the different veterans centers. Veterans Outreach for Disabled Veterans comes from, it's a program from Arizona at Work. They come by to help with employment. We're connected with Be Connected Arizona, which is just a resource for all veterans. They basically talk to the veteran, see where they're at, see what resources they need, and then it's just a big conglomerate of resources available, and so we can point them in the right direction.
Yeah, so talking again about the Veterans Center, I was going to mention, like, before you had brought up that sense of community, like, I feel like when I speak to anyone who's been in the military and so forth, that's what comes up a lot, is like that family, that community connection. And so I think that's so important to have here on campus. It's a nice, like a special place for them to kind of wind down, gather themselves. School can be really tough sometimes, and even transitioning back into life here and getting into a normal setting can be difficult. And so this is just another way to offer that support to those veterans. And I know we mentioned veterans a lot, but is it also for like military, like spousal as well?
Absolutely. It's open to, I'm trying to use the term more military connected student. So a military connected student is a spouse, a family member, a dependent, anybody that is connected with the family, come on by, be part of our family, use our computers, or, students come by, maybe they come in early before class or in between classes, they just stop by for a snack, a cup of coffee, and just to relax or see what's going on.
And so this is just another way to help them enhance their experience at Pima, make it a little bit easier. And so, this is just that lifeline of support for them. And then you mentioned they can speak with an advisor. And then you said as well, like, is there some sort, I think you mentioned, I could be wrong, like therapy, I guess, sort of related. Is that also in there too?
So we're not counselors, right? We have the academic advisors. And so I always want to remind folks that we are not there for that, but we are connected with those resources in the community. On campus, we have a lot of resources at Pima that are available. And sometimes veterans are a little bit hesitant to come forward, say they need help. And sometimes it just takes somebody that's like, hey, I've been in your shoes. I know where you're at. Let's go across. We can talk to the, success coaches. We can just get them to the places they need on campus that can also help.
Okay, so a really good way I feel like to look at the Veterans Center is just like a nice community hub where they can meet other veterans or military connected people, and then you guys can connect them to whatever resources they need next. So it's kind of like a nice little pit stop here. They can use it for what they need to and then be directed to whatever their next step may be that they're seeking for.
Exactly. And I want to put a plug in for our Student Vets of America. This is an organization of student veterans that is trying to, one of the, I guess, issues we have with the campuses being all spread out is that connection, right? If I go to West Campus, well, how do I know there's other veterans at East Campus, at Northwest? We now have connectivity in the vet centers as well. So when they hold their Student Vets of America meetings, we have every campus vet center calls into that meeting. They can collaborate. They can get to know the other veterans. And then when they have their other events, they can get together. But it's just easily accessible for anyone.
And so you mentioned coming into this role, like why you wanted to come back to work and everything else and missing that whole connection and family. So how important is it to you to have this network and this resources for veterans and military connected students on campus?
That is exactly, why I'm here. It's what I was missing for myself, just that community and that engagement that we have. Some veteran students, and I would say it's important to not place all veteran or military connected students into one bubble, right? Everyone has had their own unique experience in the military, and that's what's so interesting about our service is we can all relate to each other with things like moving, PCSing, transferring from station to station, what it's like to be part of a unit, different deployments and how those things operate. We can all relate to each other, but every person that serves has had a completely unique journey and a unique path. You won't find two people that have had the exact same career path. So while we remember that everyone's different, sometimes veterans do struggle coming back to school. Occasionally, there could be physical disabilities. There could be, that culture shock. They're used to a certain regimented lifestyle that maybe doesn't exist here in college. Also, the academic environment. I know when I went back to school, it had been 10 years, since I graduated college when I went back to school. And that was a little bit of a culture shock to get used to, just study habits and being back in that academic environment. Mental health issues. Sometimes we have veterans struggling with homelessness, financial difficulties. So having that community there of folks who can relate to what they've been to and can point them in the right direction to get the assistance they need and maybe give that little push to go ahead and accept the help and accept the services that are provided to them.
That's amazing. And I have to say, just, to interject here, I feel like there's never enough that we can do to thank people in the military for their service. And so I do think this is very important for them to have that sort of support and that community. Because I know also, I can't speak to it, but just speaking to other people, like you mentioned, everyone has experienced military differently. And so you just don't know how that has affected someone. And so having the support on campus and on each campus too, it's not just on a singular campus, it's on every single campus. So no matter what campus you go to on what side of town, there is that support and that community there. And I think that's just really important to have. And it sounds like you're just the perfect person for your role. And the way you talk about your community and then what's available and what's to offer, it's just, you can just hear it in your voice and how you talk about it. It's kind of where it almost feels like you're meant to be and that, you're there to help get that support and help bring that community together and offer it and lend that hand. And I think that's really special. So thank you.
Thank you. And I'll just have to say the team was there before I arrived and they are phenomenal. So I'm just so happy to be a part of it.
Yeah, I've heard really good things about the whole team, just over the few years. And I love that you guys can all still come together and they invited you in and they have you to help you kind of learn into your role and continue on. And then I know the foundation too has offered support with the veterans and military programs as well. And so, we also think that's a very important thing to provide support to.
Yeah, the Foundation has a lot of several funds that really support our students. We have a veteran support program that helps us support our activities. So we do a big Veterans Day event. We do a big graduation recognition dinner for our military-connected students. It can help us fund tutoring services if necessary and other educational support. The big one, I think, is our Veteran Emergency Relief Fund, because like we talked about, life happens, right? Barriers come in, unexpected events happen in life that can stop someone from attending, and we want to make their education accessible. So we have a small fund that if there's an emergency situation, and we usually find out about it through that support network that we have, that someone's struggling, they need just a little help to get through maybe, something with their car, something with their house, something with their funding didn't come through, their educational benefits didn't come through, we can step in and just assist them and keep them in school and keep them reaching their goals.
Well, we're always happy to support. But I did want to talk about, you mentioned Veterans Day, and you guys have an event coming up. Is that correct?
Correct. On Thursday, November 7th. We do it on a Thursday of Veterans Day weekend so that we can maximize student participation. And this year we're doing something a little different. We are hosting it at the Aviation Technology Center. That is, besides all the campuses, the Aviation Technology Center also has a small Veteran Center there for the veteran students. There's a lot of, just I think our proximity to Davis-Monthan, and there's a lot of military, ex-military in the aviation program. So this year we are hosting it there. We are going to also, we partner with a local organization called Quilts of Valor.
Yes, I've heard of that. Yes.
So it's a bunch of quilters, and they make these beautiful quilts for veterans, and it's all about, wrapping that veteran in the support and care and showing the love. So we are partnering with them. We're going to be presenting some Quilts of Valor during the ceremony. And then we also have a resource fair. So we have different resources coming from all over the community. We're going to have probably the mobile veteran center from the Southern Arizona VA healthcare system. Their mobile vet center is going to be there. We are going to sponsor a veteran-owned business. We're going to offer food from Solid Grinds Barbecue. And so we offer a free meal to veterans, and we ask for a donation of $10 for non-veterans, and all those proceeds go to our Student Vets of America.
That sounds like a really great event.
I'm hoping to get a lot of folks out there. So
yeah, it sounds like it's going to be really great. I know I've seen pictures online before of the Quilts of Valor and how they present it to the students and things like that on campus. And I always look at those. I'm like, gosh, that takes so much time, and they're so beautiful. And I love the whole message behind that. I think it's so sentimental. And
it is. It's a wonderful group, the local Tucson chapter. And then the quilts actually go all over the country. So somebody in Pennsylvania might do one part of it, and then they get sent over, and somebody here adds another layer to the quilt. So it's really, nationwide.
That's beautiful.
Everybody showing the support for our servicemen and women.
I love that. Well, what about, is there ways that the community can get involved to support the services here on campus?
Yeah, I would love to. We want to meet you. We want to come visit us, right? Come say hi in our centers. And I'm always looking for opportunities in the community that we can connect and provide other services to our veterans. So whether it's donating and giving to our funds to help support in that Veteran Relief Fund. I don't know if I mentioned too, we also have a Veterans Upward Bound Fund to help costs that are not covered with the federal grant. They can help other educational support needs. And then there's a fund as well for the Student Vets of America, because we are looking to get involved. They're going to probably host a few different events in the community. A few weeks ago, they went to the community food bank and just sort of volunteering, being present and helping out and being part of the community. So I would love to partner with other organizations who are also supportive of military-connected students, see what we can do together.
Well, thank you so much for your time today. I really appreciate you coming by the studio, talking about your role, the military veteran services offered here on campus, and hopefully, more of the community hears about it and knows there is support for them on every single campus, and that you guys are here essentially with open arms to assist them along their college experience.
That's right. Come and see us. Appreciate it.
Well, if any of you guys would like to support the Military and Veteran Services on Pima Community College campus, you can visit pimafoundation.org/veterans, or you can give us a call at our office. I would like to thank Alissa again for coming by the studio, and I will see you guys next week. Thank you.